Have you ever gotten to the end of a long 8-hour workday and just thought to yourself, what did I even do today? We're always told that to get ahead, you just have to work harder, right? But what if that's all wrong? What if the secret is actually working smarter? Well, today we're going to dive right into that because we are exploring how to get your time back and hit that peak productivity by working deeply, not just longer.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. That sounds crazy, right? For years, we've been told that multitasking is this amazing skill, a badge of honor you put on your resume. But the science, the actual research, tells a completely different story. And this isn't just someone's opinion. It's based on a total misunderstanding of how our brains are actually wired.
So let's just start by tearing this myth apart. I'm calling this section the multitasking lie, because that's really what it is. It's an idea that's so common we don't even question it anymore, but in reality, it's totally sabotaging the very results we're trying so hard to get.
Okay, so here is the absolute core of the problem. Our brains aren't computers. They don't have multiple processors running different programs at the same time. We really only have one channel for focus. So when we think we're multitasking, what's actually happening is our brain is just switching back and forth really, really fast. And that constant switching, it comes with a huge hidden cost.
So what does that cost exactly? I promise you, it's way bigger than you think. Every single time you glance at a notification or answer a quick question, you're paying this invisible tax on your focus. So let's pull back the curtain and see the real price of just a single glance.
Right, so this is the big question. Why is it so bad? Why can't we just jump from an email back to that important report without losing our momentum? The answer is in this concept that might honestly change the way you work forever. And here it is. It's called attention residue. This is the perfect name for that foggy feeling we all know so well. You know, when you switch from writing a report to checking an email, a little piece of your brain is still thinking about that report. Then when you switch back, part of your brain is still thinking about how to reply to that email. Your focus is totally fractured, which means you're operating with way less brain power.
And the impact of this is just staggering. A study on Microsoft employees found that after being interrupted by just one email, it took them a full 15 minutes to get back to their original train of thought. 15 minutes! Now just multiply that by how many times you get interrupted in a day. You can start to see why that 8-hour workday feels like you got nothing done.
Okay, so we've got the problem down. Our work lives are basically a minefield of distractions, and it's shattering our attention. So what's the solution? This is where we get to the good stuff. We're going to talk about a powerful practice that the most productive and creative people in the world use to get ahead. It's called deep work.
Deep work is pretty much the antidote to all that fragmented attention we were just talking about. It's all about building a mental fortress of solitude, allowing yourself to focus so intensely on one single hard task that you produce your absolute best stuff. This is the skill that lets you learn complicated things fast and perform at a truly elite level.
This slide really breaks it all down. We can basically operate in two modes. On one side, you've got shallow work. Think of this as the busy work, answering emails while you're on a conference call, scrolling through feeds. It feels productive, but it doesn't create much real value. But on the other side, that's deep work. This is where the breakthroughs happen. It's where you solve the really tough problems and create things that matter. The goal isn't to get rid of shallow work completely, but to fiercely protect your time for the deep stuff. Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually do it? How do we build this kind of intense focus into our chaotic lives? Well, the secret is to stop relying on willpower, because that runs out, and start building powerful rituals. Let's get practical.
The perfect place to start is something called the Pomodoro technique. It's so simple, but it's incredibly powerful. You basically break down your big, scary tasks into these manageable little sprints. For 25 minutes, you give one and only one task your complete, undivided attention. No email, no phone, nothing. It's like training wheels for your brain, teaching it how to sustain focus and helping you just get started. So here is the main takeaway. Routines make hard things easy. If you have a set time, a special place, maybe you even make a specific cup of tea that signals to your brain, hey, it's time to focus. You take the decision-making out of it. You just follow the ritual, and deep work happens almost automatically. You don't have to drain all that precious willpower just to get going.
And it's just as important as the work ritual, the rest ritual. But here's the secret. Real mental rest doesn't come from scrolling through social media. That's just more noise, more input. True rest actually comes from less input. Things like going for a walk, taking a shower, or even just staring out a window let your brain stop consuming new information and start processing what it already knows. And that's where your best ideas are going to come from.
I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? When you combine these deep work principles with your body's natural energy cycles, working super intensely when you're at your best, and then truly resting when you're not, you can hit a level of productivity that honestly seems superhuman. This isn't about working 12-hour days. It's about making your 2 best hours more powerful than someone else's 8 distracted hours.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. If you could get all your most important work done in just a fraction of the time, what would you do with all that new freedom? More time with your family? Pick up a new hobby? Start a side business? The possibility is absolutely real, and it all starts with just ditching that multitasking lie and embracing the incredible power of deep work.
Subscribe and like Are Your Love.